So hi friends, as I have discussed to make a new project in NodeJs and MongoDB CRUD operation. So in this video I am going to create a new project from very scratch. In that I will be doing this project will be totally backend project, and in this I will be doing NodeJs and MongoDB CRUD operation. Basically it will not be only CRUD operation. I will try to create a fully functional Node application, as you are able to see on the screen. These all will be operation. For example, inserting the node, reading the node, reading all nodes, deleting all nodes, deleting node a single node by ID, reading nodes by tag, reading nodes by the status, and updating node by ID. So this will be going to full project where I am using Node.js as a backend and MongoDB as a database. And to communicate with MongoDB from Node.js, I am using MongoDB node driver. Okay, so before going to the tutorial, first I want to make sure you all guys are aware of what is Node.js and what is MongoDB, right? So let me describe you. Node.js is simply a very popular backend framework written in JavaScript. Node.js is a core theme of Node.js is event driven and asynchronous. So as I can show you on the browser official Node.js. So basically we all are aware of Node.js. It is a very popular backend framework in JavaScript, and the main core feature of Node.js is it is event driven and asynchronous. Asynchronous meaning it will not wait for your long running operation. It will throw you event in some future and you can react to that event, either success or failure event. And we will be using MongoDB as our database. Okay, so MongoDB is very with Node.js we can use many databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, but in major cases we majorly use two type of databases with Node.js. One is MongoDB and one is MySQL, where MySQL is SQL database and MongoDB is NoSQL database. So and MongoDB I felt much faster than MySQL, but some people say MySQL is much secure than MongoDB, so leave those things for other day discussion. But as of now I am making sure that you are aware of Node.js and MongoDB basic concept, and even for this I am thinking to make a very detailed video of very core concept of Node.js and MongoDB. So in a later series I will make it, but for now this will be our step from very scratch. I am going to make project. First I will create the folder. I will create the Node.js project. After that, in the second step I will add all the required dependency. After that, all the basic folder structure. After that, basic file structure I will put. After that I will run the server. Once server is running, then I will try to handshake with MongoDB. And one more thing, in MongoDB I am using MongoDB Atlas. So let me see. MongoDB Atlas is nothing, just MongoDB Atlas is just a cloud service of MongoDB hosted by MongoDB itself. Okay, so MongoDB Atlas is not a very something, so it is just hosted by MongoDB. If you wanted to use your own MongoDB running on your own system, then you can do without any issue, not a problem. But for like I found MongoDB Atlas very simple, at least for programming test, at least for tutorial purpose. It is very simple, just hosted in cloud. You no need to install any MongoDB, any setup or all the thing, just plug and play. So I will be using MongoDB. So let's first start creating the Node.js project. So from very scratch I am going how to create Node.js project, how to fill the folder structure, and I am going to follow very high level file and folder structure, so we can learn that also. So let's go. So this is our VS Code. Before I am going to create in one of my folder I am going to create a new folder. So I will name this folder, this will be our folder. So let us name is MongoDB node CRUD. Okay, we can name it MongoDB node CRUD. Now what we will do is, this is a very fine way of creating a node project. We have multiple options like node starter or whatever, but this way I found much simpler. First step, just simply create a folder. This will be your root project folder. So I created in my D disk. After that, go into VS Code. Probably you will be using VS Code, I am hoping. So go inside VS Code, open folder. So after opening folder, you have to select your that folder that we had created just now. So I have go to inside here. This is our project that just now I created. So I will select it. Now see, it will open it. Just see it. It is much simpler way to create Node.js. After this, now this folder is very empty. We don't have anything here, nor file, neither folder. So first step, open the terminal. Open a new terminal. Okay. Wait until terminal opens. Now terminal open. This step is very important. So what we will do is, we will write npm init by. What we will do is, npm init will create a basic package.json. As you already know, package.json is a very core entry level file of any Node.js backend application. Without package.json, we would not be able to add our outside or external modules. Okay, so this package.json is very basic thing. So first we have created very simple folder in our folder, that will be our project root folder. After that, I open that folder in the VS Code. After that, I am running this command called npm init by. Init will just initiate this, and what y will do is, it will fill everything default. So I will hit enter. Now wait, it will take some time and it will add one package.json here. So from very beginning, we are going. First we will create our first target is to run this basic server. We should be able to ping the server from Postman. If we are able to do that, then our remaining step will be handshaking with the MongoDB Atlas, and after that handshaking, just create the collection and document inside that MongoDB. After that, start doing our CRUD operation. See, now our basic package.json we have got. If I will open the package.json, it gave the name, version, description. Let me file it. Full NodeJs and MongoDB CRUD application, right? Okay. And mail file index. So this text we can remove as for now. Later we have to add this here. So now in author, if you want, you can also, if you want to put it dash by, then it will ask each detail you in that terminal as well. So there you can also fill, but here I find more easier. So as author name, I will also put Kunjan Sharma. That is my name. You can put your name. This is very optional. If you want, you can put. If you don't, you can't. So after that, our first goal we did. We have created the new node project. After that, our second goal is to add required modules, right? Chorus, .env, Express, MongoDB, we all need. UUID we also need, and after that NodeMon we will add separately to restart the server on every changes. So before that, let me add a very basic file, index.js. It will be our entry file for our server. This we need at any case, index.js. So now we will add our required plugins module. So for that we will write npm install. We can also write -- save. It will save them. After that, let us see what we have to install. We have to install chorus.env express. Let us write chorus.env express and MongoDB and UUID. and MongoDB and UUID. Let me hit enter. We are installing chorus.env express MongoDB and UUID. Let me hit enter and wait for some time until it will install all those 4 packages. See, if you want, you can install all the packages one by one as well. No issue with that. But since we are about to save the time, see all the 4 packages, it will install at once, and after installing we can verify this in our package.json, right? So until it installs, it will take little bit time. We are doing our now second step. In second step, adding NodeMon is still left. What is Node or until it installed, let me quickly describe you what are all the packages. Chorus we are adding. Chorus is simply means for the cross origin policy. So this we may need. So this I am adding. If you wanted to call this locally, so you need to enable the chorus. .env we need to use env variable. Why we need environment variable? If we are storing some sensitive info, then we need Express. We all know we are using Express as a server. MongoDB, we all know we are using MongoDB as a database. So this MongoDB is a driver for Node.js, and this UUID, you may be aware of that. It is a package for generating random numbers. So now, as you can see, our all packages got installed. We can verify it in package.json, chorus.env, express mongo, and UUID. Now we have to install this NodeMon. Basically, we can omit installing this NodeMon, but what this NodeMon will do is, it will simply, each time we will save our code, it will rerun the server. So let us simply install. But npm NodeMon we will install in a little bit different way. How? See, save test def NodeMon. What we are telling our server is, we only need NodeMon to install as a dev. In production we don't need NodeMon, right? So dash dash it should be 2 dash, right? Dash dash save dev. So we are installing NodeMon as a dev dependency. If you will see in package.json, after successful installation, it will be under the dev dependency. So once NodeMon got installed, we will move to our further. Now our goal is to, after creating node, see, now NodeMon also got installed, but under dev dependency, and this is in normal dependency. What happen is, this dependency we will use in production, and this all the dependency under dev dependency we will use in throughout our development only, maybe testing libraries and all, because NodeMon is a module that will restart our server each time for changes, but this we don't need in production. That's why we added NodeMon in dev, under dev dependency, so it will automatically omit when we will build the production of this backend. Okay, so now second step we did, right? Now our goal should be to reach to 5th step ASAP, to create and run the basic server, right? So for that we need to create basic folder and file structure. Okay, config folder, controller folder, and routes folder we need. So let's do it very quickly. Okay, first folder I will create config. In the config folder we will store our all the config, for example node. Second folder I will do is controllers. This will be our controller, as the name is suggesting, controllers folder. Okay, you can first letter maybe a small or whatever you want, but I use the capital letter as a convention. So third folder I will create routes. In this folder I am going to put my all in this folder I am going to put my all routes folder. Routes folder should be independent, right? Not under controller. That's why I need routes folder. Index.json I already have. One more file I need, git ignore. So this file is also important. What happen is, if we will not have git ignore, then sometime when you are pushing the code, what git will do, it will add your this node module as well, that you don't want to add, right? The entire dependency of node. That's why we added git ignore. Even this we will use later, git ignore, but we have added it. So all the folder we added. Now what we are going to do is inside all the folder we will add files as well. So inside config folder we are having db config file, so we will add it like db config.js, right? In this we will do our Node and MongoDB handshaking. Okay, so config be created. In controller folder we will create one file and we will call it node controller.js. Okay, here in this file we will add all the controller logic and route. Here we will also create new file and we will call it node routes. Okay, fine. Now let's go to our the to-do list. We have created basic folder and file structure, config, controller and routes. After fourth step, we created db config, we created node controller, we created node route, we created index.js and now .env file. Why we need .env file is what happen is when you are using some secret sensitive info like your password or username, so that you need to store in .env, and that .env you will as in git ignore, so your secret should not be exposed. So .env I added also. Now let's see what we are missing. So till fourth step we did fine. Now our fifth is the major step. After that we will be doing Node and MongoDB CRUD. Fifth step is creating the code in index.js and run the basic server. So now let's do fifth step. So we have to create the code in index.js. So let's go to index.js. Right now our index.js is very plain empty. So we will go to index.js and now line by line we will write the code. First express.js we need, so we will write express equal to require. So one more thing I would like to say, just a minute. Express, here instead of const you can also write where, not an issue. But what happen is, since we are using const for performance issue, so const means this variable express will never get changed. So our JavaScript compiler knows in advance. Okay, so this will never ever get changed throughout the program because this we have declared as constant. So this will make our code very faster. Okay, that's why we are using const. So this we did. After that let me initialize UUID. Maybe later we use that. Version 4 of UUID we are using, ID v4. So later we need it, but I am initializing the same require. After that we will call it UUID. Fine. Okay. And .env we also need. We may need it. Require. We are taking .env directly. .env in this way we can initialize it. And .config means we will take all the default config of .env. 3 we installed. Now we need to describe constant port. Okay, on which port our server will run. So for this what we will say is, first we will pick the value from process.environment.port. Although we haven't added port in .env, but if you want you can add. But if we are doing, if port is null, so in that case we will give it 3003. Now if you want you can add the port in .env. For it what we will do is port equal to 3003. So one more thing, in port you can also write in this format. Both is fine. 3000 either equal to or either this colon, and whatever be, and even in the double quotes you can write, all is fine, but I will write this is convention we use 3000. Okay, I will save the project. Now we are trying to run the server ASAP, basic Node.js and Express server, so that we can start handshaking with MongoDB and start creating our CRUD. So port we have created. After the port, we need to initialize Express app as a app. We need to take the object of Express, okay, so that later we can use it. Now our next step will be taking app.use. What we are doing here basically is we are parsing each request as a JSON. So this we are adding as a middleware. Express will automatically do this for us. And one more thing we will add, what we will say is express dot URL encoded. Okay, URL encoded in this as a one curly bracket, and we will write extended true. So this we are making, this will be our URL encoded as well. Now we are good to go. After that, now we can write our basic get request app. This is our get request. In the same way we can write post or put or delete or patch. So this will be our basic get request. This will be our path. On this our server will listen. After that, after path you have to pass 3 parameter: request, response and next. This next, if you want, you can omit. This is not needed. This next is just a middleware. For example, if I have to forward this request to another, so I will call like this next. So if you want, you can use this next, and if you don't want, you can omit this. It's up to you. So but I will use it because it is a common convention. Now after that, I will take the response. I will return a status. I will return 200 is a code for success. After that, I will return it as a JSON array. In that, let me write a status code. I will write 200. A status of response I will write as a string success. After that, I will write maybe client ID if you want client. This is simply, we don't need client ID, but to recognize, I am writing this UUID for package will generate a random ID each time we will fire this. So that's it. And message we may also write message, let us, so that we can know our server is working. So our server name is MongoDB Node CRUD app is running successfully. Okay, so this we did. Whenever someone will fire basic localhost, then we will get this. After this, one last step, we have to listen our request app. So for that, we will write app.listen, and we have to pass our port number. Our port number we already declared. After that, as a callback function, if you want, you can initialize this. If you don't want, you cannot. So what I will initialize is to let us throw that our service is running. And just I will print console.log. In this I will take this string and I will write server started running on port, and will give our port number, so that we are using. So now this is our basic setup for server. We just, in the first part we have initialized the Express. second part, we have declared the port number. Third part, we have discussed, we have added JSON and URL encoded true, so that our each response can, as a middleware, we are injecting it. This express.json is a separate package as well. We can also use that, but since it is by default in Express, so we are using. And this is our basic pingable GET request, that whoever will ping our server with this host, with this port number, he will get this response. Now we are listening, finally we are listening the server on port 3003. So now only one step is left to run the server. First we will save this. We have to go in package.json, and here what we have to do is, inside package.json, we haven't configured NodeMon. To configure NodeMon, we have to configure NodeMon. So we have a script file. In this script file, what we will do is, we will write one script. We will call it a start, and in this what we will write is NodeMon index.js. So whenever we'll fire this start script, it will run the NodeMon, and each time it will make the changes. So second also is the same, node index.js. This is basically a script to run the server each time. For example, now our server should run. So it means now if I will fire npm start this script, so it will fire NodeMon, and inside it will start the index.js. After that, index.json, NodeMon will start listening for each changes. Okay, the moment we will save our changes, it will run the backend, our entire server again. So now let us fire it. Our server should run, because in index.js we did all the basic setup. If our server, if we will get the message that server started running on port this, and after that we will ping this request from the postman by taking this port number. Now let's check. As we are able to see, it is very fine. Let's wait for 2 minutes. Okay, sometime in the first start, it is, see, this NodeMon index.js, our this command from NodeMon, this got executed. Our server should now, we should get this message, server started running on port 3000. Just a minute, sometime it will take time. So if it will run, then our only step will be to first verify, and after that we can create handshaking with MongoDB, and after that we will do the CRUD operation. Just wait for 1 minute. Okay, why? Sometime first time it will take time, or until it run, we will prepare in Postman. So for the testing the API, I will be using Postman, right? So there are some previous requests. Let me delete it. So if our server will run, then we should be able to, or let me create one collection so that we can work in that. So if our server is able to run, so we will be able to fire this request localhost 3000. If we will fire localhost 3000, then it should run this. Okay, it is still running. Server is still running. I'm not sure. Batching extension JS. Let me verify. In a script, start NodeMon index.js, NodeMon index.js, right? We said the same. So npm start, or let me discontinue it and let me try running npm run start. Okay, it should run, not an issue. It is saying waiting for clean exit. So what if I will ping the server? Will it be pingable? 3003 it should be, right? So okay, our server is not pingable yet. So we have to figure out why this is not running. App.listen we did, app.get, so basic setup we did, right? So why it is not running, we need to look. Because Express we have got as Express. Let's just from one by one we can see constant Express equal to we get required.env get port we got. After that app we got as express.json we have used, express.url encoded and inside true we have used, app.get we had used. Okay, after app.listen and port we had used. It should work, right? So basically waiting for changes before restarting. So NodeMon index.js, it should work. So restarting due to changes. It is saying clean exit, right? Waiting for changes before restart. Just a minute. So we figured the issue. The issue was by mistake we have added this app.listen port thing inside the get. So just we have removed the bracket. This is a small thing we have to take care. Now our server is running. As you can see, server started running on port. So now from Postman we should be able to ping. Our port number is 3000 and by default server is running on localhost. So if I will ping this, I should, as a get request, loc localhost 3003, right? It is not giving, so let us change. Server started running on port 3. Okay, it is running on 3000. Okay, here I gave 3000, so here also you have to give 3000. Now see, every time for that we have added Node.js. Every time we are making changes, Node.js is NodeMon is doing its magic. For example, I will write some dummy thing, I will make change, I will save the file. See, it automatically reloaded to port now 3003. Now we will be able to ping it. So now we are able to ping the server. This is the client ID is generated by the UUID package, and whatever message we wrote, it is throwing successfully. So now our basic server is node server is set up. Now what we have to do is, we did first step, we have created a new node project from very scratch. After in second step, we added all the required chorus.env express MongoDB driver UUID and NodeMon packages. After that, we created basic folder and file structure, config controller routes. After that, we added these all db config node controller.js node router index.js file. After that, we have created index.js and ran the basic server. Now our sixth step is to add entries.env file. So this entry will be, since we are using MongoDB Atlas, so when you will sign up to, it's very simple. I should give you a walkthrough. When you will sign up to MongoDB Atlas, you just have to try get a start. When you will press get a start, you just have to log in with your mail and password. After that, that's it. You can log in with your MongoDB Atlas. After logging in with MongoDB Atlas, you can go inside your, for example, if you will go inside your MongoDB Atlas, then, or if I am already signed up, so I will try to sign in. So basically it's very simple and straightforward. You just have to enter your detail, name and email, and they will create your account for free. You don't have to add your credit card. I will try to log in and show you. So okay, or okay, I will try. It will ask now. It will ask for password. So let me try. So my password, it is not recognizing. Let me type what it is saying now. Okay, still it is not recognizing my password. Let me try again. So it should recognize, right? So okay, somehow I'm not able to log in, but there I will show you. You just have to create the account, and after that you just have to, they will give you a or wait, I will pause. I was showing about MongoDB Atlas, so now I am able to log in. So basically this is very simple. Now I have logged in. So when first time you will sign up by submitting your email and password, so you will see this type of dashboard. After that you need to close it. You just need to set up, that's it. You need to go to network access. In network access right now you need to add IP, like I already added, that's why it is showing. If there is no any entries in your, then you may go to add IP address, and what you have to do is you have to choose add my not IP address. You have to add IP address. You have to allow from anywhere this 000-0, and you have to make it active. So what it will do is it will allow any type of IP address to access the MongoDB Atlas, but in production you should never do it. This we are doing just for the testing. So first thing, and second, you need to go in under database tab, that's it. After that you need to go on this section, and after that going to this section you need to copy this code, add your string into your application code. Just you need this code. This code we will need in our Node.js as a URL, and you should replace this password with your password, and I am having my username. So only 3 steps in MongoDB Atlas we need to do. First you have to sign up. After sign up you will see this dashboard. After seeing dashboard you have to go in network access, and you have to make sure you have to IP address, and you have to give access from anywhere, only for testing, so that we can use flawlessly. After that you have to go in the database tab. After going in database tab you have to take your URL that we will use, that's it. So now we are going to do handshaking with MongoDB, right? Our 7th step. So let us do in config file, in db config we will do this. So in db config we will do handshaking with MongoDB. So let me minimize this. We can minimize this as well, so we can work freely. First thing is we will import MongoDB client. So Mongo client, because since Mongo driver, Node.js MongoDB driver we already installed, that's why we are able to import it. And I will require MongoDB, because MongoDB driver I already installed, right? After that this .env I am asking here as well. I am importing here as well, because whenever you need to use the value of .config, you need to import it like this, because after importing like this on at most top level, now you can use .env. On third step, this will be URL that you will copy. So what I should, go inside your database, go inside this option, and inside go to this second option, connect your application to the cluster. Add your connection string into your application. Just copy this string beneath this, as we have copied it as a string or as a dynamic string, paste it. And this password you just have to change with your password, right? I will change it. Fourth step, now we will take this client. What we are doing here is in db config we are basically trying to handshake with the MongoDB. After doing simple handshaking, we will write our CRUD operation. So now we will take the Mongo client, we will basically initialize the Mongo client, sorry. After that, and here we need to pass our URL, okay, with the valid password. Make sure this will be your username, and this password, the whole string, you have to replace with your password, this one. That's it. Second thing, after that we need to make our DB name. So I will give my DB name NodeJs. So since we are working with Node application, you can give anything as well. Now let assume this is a DB. We are initializing because later we have to export this as DB as well, so that we can use it in outside file. So what first we did is we imported MongoDB, second we imported .env. So that why I imported .env is maybe in this password and this user name you will store in your .env, and these things you will replace. That's why I did. After last step, we will make a async function and we will call it main. You can call it anything. In this function we will just try to contact with MongoDB. After that we will add connecting with MongoDB Atlas. Even you are using Atlas or local DB, the process will be same. For Atlas we have this URL. For local you will just add localhost and your URL address that MongoDB cell will guide you. Everything will be same, nothing will change. Now we are communicating with Atlas, so we will simply write await and we will take the client and we will call this method. If you will hover over this method, what it is saying, contact to MongoDB using a URL. So URL we are already passing. So why we are using await here is, it means it will wait until it will resolve. Either it will give error or either it will give success, but we will not move to next line. So this is our code. After that, now we can write in the console that server established successfully with MongoDB, so that we can know that our server established successfully. After that, one more step we need to do. We need to take the DB that we have initialized, and after that we have to call client.db. What this will do is, this will create a new DB with the name NodeJs. So we will pass our DB name. So since NodeJs is a document and collection DB, so how our structure will be, we have one DB named NodeJs. In that we will have all the document and all the collection under this NodeJs. So first we have created the DB, okay, and we name, you can give anything. In case I gave this. One last thing, outside this main function, now you have to call this main function. So we will write main dot, then again we are doing the promise chaining. This value, if you want you can take, if you don't want you can't, it's up to you. So after that we will do simple catch operation as well, so that if any error occurs, we may get notified that this error occurs. After that, now let us, in the error we will simply print console.log error, okay. it will print. And in the value tab we need to just if here also we can call it, if on successful as well db db name. So what is the issue it is giving? Okay, what it is saying, expected this, no wait, it should be like this, right? So what is the issue here? Just create, just copy this line, this I am adding here as well. So when it fails, then on success it will call. After that here also I will print the same thing. This thing here, just we are calling the method whenever this file gets loaded, that's it. Now one very last step, we need to export this so that we can use outside. So module dot exports equal to client and db. Basically db we will interact with client only, db we will not use, so we will interact with client only. That's it in our this file. Now if we will save it, and now we will load this file in index, so it should print server started, server established successfully, it should print. So for this we have to go to index.js, and now we can load this. We can say constant db config equal to, we will import it, require, we will go to config, inside db config .js. If you want you can add, if you don't want you can omit. By default it will add, but adding is a best practice. Now if I will save it, this inside .config, this method will get called, and it should handshake successfully with MongoDB, and after that it should print server established successfully. Now let me save it, NodeMon will run it. Oh, it will not run because it gave error, because you remember I haven't changed my password with my password, right? So here I will pause the video and I will save my password. Now in .env I have saved my password. Now I need to replace this thing. So for that I will write this, right, process .env the name of the variable. Now I have loaded my password. In the same way you can do with your username as well. And how we are able to access environment variable? Because of this, we are using .env package, so this loaded our environment variable. Now if we will save this, it will not give the error. Let us save this. Now it will do the successful handshake with MongoDB. See, server established successfully with MongoDB. It is giving us 2 times because 2 times we added it. If you want you can remove it from the here, this log, if you want you can remove it. We no need that log, so that you can print only 1 time. So if you will run, now it will print only 1 time. See, server established successfully with Mongo. Now we are in the task list, we are able to do the handshake with MongoDB Atlas. Now we left only with 8th, 9th and 10th only. We have to now add all the expose API methods in the controllers. So now we will go in controller. We have to basically add this all expose API so that we can use one by one. So one by one, now our last step, we have created the NodeJs project from very scratch. We added all the dependency, we created all the folder structure, we added all the files inside that, we created index.js and ran the basic server, we created .env file and added entries in that. We are able to handshake with MongoDB. Now we are adding all the exposed API method that we are going to create. So this all 7-8 method I will going to add inside node controller. So let me go to node controller. I will go to node controller, sorry, nodes controller, and here we need to add our all methods. So one by one I will add all the methods. So inside controller, you can see inside controller I have gone to node controller. We can minimize it. So now one by one I will add entire. So first, before adding, we will import the db from db config, right? This client that we are exporting, this we need, because this client is nothing, this client is db. So this client we need, so let's import it. Constant client db, okay, equal to require. Now let's access it inside config, inside db config, and as I said, adding .js is a very good convention. After that, let's import the nodes object. I will call it nodes. Now this nodes is our db collection. This nodes is our db collection, and we will access it in our all methods, this node collection. So for this we will write client dot db. Now here we will pass nodes because we have already created nodes db. So what this in db config this will do is, see, it is saying it will create the db if it doesn't exist. See, creates a new db extent. So we already created that, and here we are accepting that. Dot, since this is the collection, and inside we are creating a collection, that name will be nodes. So what this method will do, if nodes collection is not already inside the nodes db, then it will create a new nodes collection. This, and if it is already there, then it will just take that as an instant. Now we can use this nodes throughout all this file. And last step is we need to add UUID. Sometime we need it for generating our own unique ID. If you want, you can use any random generator, but since this is very straightforward and easy, so I will always use this. Now our all the setup is done. Now let's put all the method one by one. So first method will be inserting the node, right? Now I will quickly go inserting the node, and it will be, of course, a sync function. It will ask request, response, and next as a parameter. Next you can omit, as I have already discussed. So this 3 parameter and this. So in the same way I will add my all the methods. One is insert node, one will be constant read node by id. This we created. One method will be constant read all nodes. Here we will read all the nodes. One method will be constant delete node by id. As name is suggesting, we will delete the single node by the id. Another method will be update node by id. So we will update a single node by id. Another method will be delete all nodes. If we want, we can delete the entire nodes at one shot. Sorry, we can do it. Another method we will add read nodes by tag. Read nodes by tag. So basically what is tag, you will get to know. We are adding one tag inside that node, that general common sort of that, so we can able to filter nodes by that as well. One last method I will add, read nodes by a status, right? By a status we are also adding. So and last thing, you need to export. So last thing, you need to export all, so that we can use outside module.export, so that we can use outside the file. One by one you need to export all. Insert node, read nodes by read node by id. After that read all nodes. After that delete node by id. After that delete all nodes. After that read nodes by tag. After that read nodes by status, and after that update nodes by id. So this be exported as well, right? So now we can use, now our entire method is exported. Now we can fill this method. So we can minimize this. Now let us fill insert node method. So we have already our nodes collection handy. Whenever we have to do something, add, delete, remove, update, we will simply add this nodes collection. This node is nothing, just a collection. Inside nodes DB we are accessing a collection nodes. It will give us access of nodes collection, but it is saying returns a reference to MongoDB collection. If collection is already not there, it will also create the collection, right? So to insert the node, we will simply need from request body, we will need title, we need content, we need tag as well from request body, we need these are the field that we are see this flexibility MongoDB give us, since we are not using a schema like Mongo's ODM. So whatever field inside node we want to give, we can give any type of field in any collection under the document. So this will be the element of single node object, title, content, tag completed. I am going to design the full after it. Basically here I am doing object destructuring. I will extracting this all information from the request body, because whenever user will fire this insert node API, he has to enter all these things. So from where I will get this request.body, because I am doing object destructuring here. Okay, so constant, still it is giving error. So wait, it is giving error. Why? Where it is expected? Okay, just a minute, it is giving somewhere error. We can copy this. Okay, constant title, right? Title, why it is giving error? Request.body, right? So okay, it is giving error because see, I have missed this thing in all method, arrow bracket. Okay, sorry, very little things we have to take care. I will add one by one in all. That was the reason for error. So now simply this we are doing object destruction. Now after that we will prepare our data. So this will be the data we will enter to create a single node. So in this we will add multiple field. First, ID. See, ID I am adding in this format. If you will omit the ID, then MongoDB will automatically add a ID for you. But since I will be adding, but only thing is that ID should not be duplicate. Otherwise, MongoDB will throw you duplicate key error. So for ID, I will be using UUID. It will generate every time random ID. Title, I am doing object destructuring here. Title I am getting from the request body. Content also I am taking from the request body. After that, tag also I am getting from request body. After is completed, this also I am getting from request body. After that, one more field I will add, created at timestamp. So here simply I will add date, so that see at what time it got created and what time it got updated. So updated as, here I will also add, this is just a JavaScript time in a timestamp format. So after each time update, we will update this, and this will get updated only one time. So in this way we can keep track when it got updated. Now our data is prepared from request body. We are asking title, content, tag and is completed boolean value. So now we are ready to fire. We will call nodes collection. See, we already discussed here nodes collection. Now we are calling this nodes dot, we want to insert. So we will call insert one method. After that, you have to insert the data. That's it. This will insert, but we will store the result in a constant variable, const. We will name it insert record equal to this, and we will mark it await. And after that we will print it as well. Console.log, we will name it insert record, and as well we will print it as well, insert record. Fine. Okay, now let us return the response. We will return, or simply we can copy it from y2 type. From index.js we can copy this, right? This only we need. We will copy this from index.js. Everything is fine. Client ID we don't need. This we will say new node inserted successfully, right? And now we need to insert the data. Whatever this insert record we are getting, we need to send in the response, insert record. So now let us check our first method. Our first method should be working now. So before that we need to do a step more. One step more, we have to make this, we have to go inside route folder, inside node routes, and just simply we have to, because see we are using the controller and route architecture, so it is little bit lengthy, but it is very best practice. So I will write nodes controller. Nodes, simply here we are importing our node controller, right? So let me make it node controller. Now we will give a correct path so that we can import it. Inside controller, inside node controller and .js, don't forget to give, even if you can omit it. After this I will import router. This is express router. We need it since express we already added as a module, so we will simply write express and just we need to write router in this format. That's it. Now we will add our one more step. We just need to export this module dot exports equal to router so that we can export it. Now only one step. Now we are able to, now we can add our all routes here. So first route I will add is router. See, now I am going to add this insert node. So insert node should be post request, right? So router dot post, and just copy the method name. This will be our endpoint. So insert node slash insert node, don't forget to give slash. After that call node controller dot insert node. Okay, so in node this will be get fired, right? This we did. Now only one more setup in the index.js file. So now we need to in index.js, see, first we added node controller, and now we took this node controller and added router. Now one final step, we need to use this router as a middleware function inside index.js so that it can know that we are using this. So simply we will write app.use. We want to append some API, you can use. I want to append API slash nodes. That's it, because one slash it is already having, and before it we have to import the router as well. So we will import it const node router equal to, let's do it, require okay, single routes. It should give us node router dot js, right? Now we will take this node router and we are adding this as a middleware. Now our router plugin setup is done. Now if we will fire slash API slash node slash insert record that we have set it in the node route, then this method will get fired, insert node, and this is a asynchronous method. In this we are accepting title, content, tag and is completed, and ID and created and updated we are adding. So let's now test it. So we will save it. I will copy from title to is completed. So it is giving some error. Let's see the error, what it is giving. Routes cannot find modules node router.js. Okay, because our name is node routes, right? You have to be very careful because I have used auto suggestion, that's why we need to do it very carefully. Our folder is routes. Inside that routes folder we have, what is the name, we can see node routes, right? Node routes dot js, right? Now it should not give error, we have changed it. Still it is giving cannot find routes. Okay, nodes route we have exposed, right? So why it is giving issue, let me see it. Now simply we added this node route inside our index.js file. First we imported node routes with the correct file. After, as a middleware, we have added node route. So, and we have just appended slash API slash nodes. So whatever API will be now inside node route, it will, we can call it, but since we have appended this slash API slash nodes that we have to also pass. So now let's check our first API. So from title to till here we have to copy it, because in Postman we are accepting as request body, right? This we can minimize. This should give us this status as a inserted record. It is fine. We will go to our Postman. Since our server we are already firing, fine. We will save it inside this new collection, fine. Now we can create new tab. We will do localhost 3000, but remember it was slash API slash nodes, and now it was, I guess, we can copy the method. It was insert record, right? So we have copied the method insert record, and remember it is post request. Whenever we are, how is it post request? In node route we have made it like post, so it is post request. So we are accepting body, it will be raw and as a JSON type. So let's do this. We already selected all the basic detail that we are asking. We will just have to copy that. We just have to pass that, because title we are asking, it should be both, should be a string. Tag we are also asking, okay. Here we can ask complete node tutorial as a content. We can give yes, complete NodeJs plus MongoDB tutorial by Gunjan Sharma. Sorry for publicity. And as a tag we can use as a, this is simply a field, so that later we can filter by the tag. And is completed, let's me mark it false. So since it is boolean value, so we can remove this, okay. And now if we will, now we are able to fire the API. So now if we will fire the API, it should create the record, as we have made the insert record method. So let's see what happened. We have fired it, so it gave some error. Now let's fix this error. What is the issue it is giving? It is saying, no, it is not giving any issue, right? Or it give, I don't think so. So let me see. Okay, it hasn't given any issue. It should be 3003, right? Port that we have mistaken. Now let us fire. It is saying localhost slash API slash, okay. Okay, it is insert nodes, guys. Remember, insert node, it is right, not insert record. Boom, see, now it successfully inserted a status code, a status and message. Now to know that there is node or not, we will write two more APIs. One is find all node, read all node, and one is read node by ID. So let's go to node controller. Let's minimize it, and let's minimize insert node. Let's write in read nodes by read all nodes. So read all nodes is very simple. We will simply take it like this. Write all nodes. Now we will take our nodes collection. This nodes we are referring from here. We already declared this, and we are taking this client from the db config, right? From db config we are taking this client, we are exporting it. Okay, so from there we created nodes DB, and after that we are taking a collection reference of the collection nodes. If there is no collection called nodes under the DB nodes DB, then it will create and it will give us reference, but if it is already there, it will simply give. So read all is very simple. Just nodes dot, you can say, find. If you want to read all, just pass a empty array, and to take that as an array you need to pass 2 array. That's it. But since it is a future, so you have to write await. Now we can return the response. So for that I will copy the response from insert record, and I will simply paste it here, right? We can give it a space, so we can write here all nodes fetched successfully, and here we can write nodes, and in this we can write return all the nodes, right? So now read all nodes method we have to add in our node route. We are already exporting it, so now let's quickly add it here. So read all nodes, since we have to read, so it will be get method, right? So read all nodes, node controller dot, what we need, read all nodes, right? Now we can save it. Now let's go to Postman, create one more, make it localhost 3003. Our signature is /API /read all nodes, right? It's a GET request. When we will fire this, then we have right now only one node, this one. We should get this nodes, right? Let us fire and see. Oh sorry, it should be GET request, right? /API /read all nodes, but why it is not giving /read all nodes? What is the issue? Let us check. Okay, return you need to add, right? If you will not add return, then how it will get? So return you need to add, and after that we made it GET request, right? /read all nodes, it should give us, right? So GET request, still it is saying cannot get /API localhost /API. Okay, sorry, we have forgotten this nodes parameter. See, we have to, now we can fire. See, we got all the nodes. Right now we have, okay, so it is giving me 4 to 5 node, because maybe earlier I had added this node, so that's why it is giving. What happened is, earlier I made the same collection, same DB nodes DB under the same collection node, that's why it is having some earlier record. So what we can do is we can print the length of all the total nodes, and we can print the number as well, right? So we can see how many nodes we are getting. So let us fire now. See, our total node count is 3. So one we added, our node was this one, complete node tutorial. Let us find this complete node tutorial. This one is large. So now let's delete these 2 dummy nodes that I added, and in this way we will do our delete method as well. Okay, so now let's minimize it. We did our insert node method, we are able to insert. Let's try one more insert. We can write this CRUD operation successful. Okay, we can write here, yes, we are able to do CRUD with MongoDB database in NodeJs backend, right? Is completed, we can make it true because okay, now if we will fire, then we have to have 4 nodes. See, it said new node created successfully. Now right now our total node count is 3 and we don't have these nodes, right? This is first node, second node, third node. So now if we will fire again, we have to count 4. See, total node count is 4 and it should be in last. See, CRUD operation successful. So since this 2 is dummy that earlier I added, that maybe, so let's delete this 2 and in this way we will also learn delete method. So now we did insert, we did read all node. Now let's fill up delete node. So delete node by id. So for that, what I will take is const I will accept for deleting node, as the name suggests we are deleting node by id, so we need the id of that node. So I will accept node id as a request parameter, right? So I will write request dot params, request dot params. Fine. We need to insert this node id as a params. After that we will take nodes collection, nodes dot we need to fire a method called delete one. In this method we just have to pass id of which or any attribute you can fire, but see, in this case we are taking the node id, so we will fire pass node id. This one we want to delete, right? Or here we can make it await method as well, or let's do it the asynchronous chaining. So if delete is successful, then I will handle here. If some error happened, then I will handle it here. Okay, now let me copy this return statement so that we can use here as well. If everything is successful, then I will say node deleted successfully, right? And inside result, let me pass result, right? And if something is error, so in this case I will also write error, means it must be internal error. So I will give 500 code and I will make it while we are handling this, if in case something happened wrong. So we will delete this and message we will write error occurred while deleting node, right? So that we can know. Now our this delete method, simply we took the collection and we have node method. First option is filter, second is options we can also give, and callback we are already executing, then and catch. So in filter we just pass delete that one node which one is having id, this node id. So we need to copy this delete node by id, we need to add in our new route. As usual we will write router dot, since we are deleting it will be delete and note the name of, and see here we will also accept node id in the request param, because we are, see here we are accepting node id in a request param. Here we are doing object destructuring. Here we can also write like request dot params dot node id. Both is the same thing, but since here we are doing object destructuring, since we have large items, so doing for all for one by one doesn't feels good, so we are doing object destructuring. So now we did this. This is a syntax to add some dynamic request param. You can add as many as you want. Now I will write note controller and the method. What was that? Delete note by ID, right? Now we are good to go. So if I will copy it, if I will save it, server it started. Okay, now delete note by ID. Now let's go to here, make one new method, call it localhost API slash, pass it delete note by ID. It should be delete, right? And now we have to pass the ID of some node. So for example, I want to delete this title and content and dummy node. So I will copy the ID and let's try to delete what it says. So copy the ID and let's fire it, what it says. So it is saying node deleted successfully and delete count is 1. So if this is the case, then right now our total node count is 4. If we will run again, it should be 3, and this note with title as a title and content as a content and tag as a tag and is completed as a it completed, it should not be there. Let us fire us. Exactly, now we got total node 3 and that title thing is not there. Okay, so in the same way I will remove this one also, keep going thing. I will copy the ID. I will copy the ID. So we have successfully tested our delete node, right? Very simple. We just copy the ID, we will fire it. Again same thing. Now we need to see a 2 node and the count should be 2, and this keep going and something will happen, should not be there. Let us fire it. Okay, so total node is 2 now. Whatever we have added, now it is 2 nodes. So now we did delete node as well. Let us minimize this. We did read all nodes. Let us minimize it. We did insert node. Now in the same way we need to do update node, then we can finish the CRUD operation. So for update node, the same thing we will do. For updating node as well, I need ID of node ID as a request param. Fine. So I will paste it, and after that, for updating the node, we have to make a object first. Update, I will call it update node equal to, it will be array, and in this is a basically Mongo syntax. When you want to update, then you have to do it like set. After that, what basically entire field one by one we have to add. So from request dot body dot title, I will get content, or basically content I will copy till request dot body so that we can paste, right? Dot content. After that, what we have, each completed, each completed. After that, tag, whatever tag user will enter, we will add that tag as well, right? And notice one more thing, updated it. Whenever it will get updated, we will update the timestamp. For simply, we will add new JavaScript date object. It will act as a timestamp. So this we made a update object. After that, now we can call nodes collection dot, we have method called update one. We will call this update one method, and first, just as a delete, we need to pass the ID, which node we want to update. So the node with having ID as a this ID, and we will pass this ID as a request param. After that, you have to pass the update node that we just now created. After that, in the same way, you can write updated node successfully. So this thing I will see, this then thing I will copy from the delete method. So simply I will write this. Okay, one dot you have to remove. So node, just I will change updated successfully error while updating node. We have copied and pasted and saved our time. So now our node should get updated, but for this as well we have to add the routing as we have did for all. Go to node route. Now go here, router dot. For update we may use put or patch. We can also use put is commonly used for update. So we will do this, and since we are also accepting dynamic ID, node ID to update the node, we will do this. After that, take the node controller. From there we will get update node by ID. Fine. Now our node should API is ready. Let's go to Postman, test it. So first let's call the method localhost. Instead it call update node by ID. It should be put method. In the body, request body, we are asking all the JSON. So for whatever we are giving for insert, we will give here as well. Or let's see which node we want to update. Maybe we want to update this node, right? So we will copy this, so we don't have to write complete node tutorial we wanted to update. So let's paste this. Just we will write so that we can see it is updated. I will write here updated. Okay, I will write here updated. Now to fire it, first you need to add the ID, because after it I am expecting ID. So this ID I need to give, because we are accepting ID as well. So let's give this ID, and request body be also giving. So let's fire it. See, nodes updated successfully, acknowledge true. One issue with MongoDB is while updating it will not give you updated node. So if you want to get updated, so here we just added this updated in bracket, so we can run find read all nodes. In that we can see in that we have added this updated, so it is updating successfully, but here we are not getting the ID, right? So for that we have one more thing. In node controller, instead of update one, we can try find one and update. This should at least give us some clue. Let us see. Find one and update. So this time I will add updated bracket as here also, so that we can recognize, and here we will as -1. So now I will fire it. I added update. Instead of update one, I added different method called find one and update. What it is saying, it will find a document and update it in one atomic operation, and let's see what it returns. So if I will fire it, see, at least it gave me the value, but it gave me the previous value, right? So it gave me some different thing, but it gave me the previous value. But if we will now fire again our update read all API, sorry, that was insert. If we will find our read all API, see, update -1 and updated. It is updating successfully. So now we did our insert operation, read all operation, delete node operation, and update operation. So now let's do read one operation as well, read node by ID. This we can also do. So we need to do read single node by id. In the same way we are deleting it. So let's go to read node by id. So again here we need the id in form of, we will accept in form of request param. So we will copy it and let us paste it here. After that let's call it simply const single node, right? Const single node, since it will be asynchronous. So await nodes dot, we have a method called MongoDB, a method called find one, and in this find one, as usual, you have to give the id. So our id property, and what will be the id? id will be node id that we are accepting as a request params. So now that's it. Now we will take this response and we will return the node. We can do the method chaining here as well, since we are doing await call. So it will wait code this in asynchronous function. This await is making this line to act as a synchronous. This line will wait until this promise get resolved. This promise may be rejected or promise may be fulfilled, but it will wait, it will act as a synchronous. So we are, if we want, we can remove the await, and we can do in this way, in chaining way also, but for that we have to remove this await. Anyway, is fine. So for this I will make it node fetched successfully. Okay, and inside, instead of nodes, I will make it single node, right? It should give me single node. So for this also we need to add the routing. Go to node route. Let's add it here. Router dot, this will be get request slash the name. We are also accepting node id, right? So node id. After that, node controller dot, what is it? Read node by id, right? Okay, so now it is done. Now we can save the file and restart the server. Now go again one more method. Now tab, let's call it read node by id. It will be get request, and in the id we are accepting something. So let's pass this id. Complete node tutorial. It should give us the node by this id, right? So let's pass this id and see what it is giving. Localhost API/node read nodes by id. It's throws some error or what? No error, it hasn't thrown. See, maybe localhost /API/node/read node by id. Let us check. Read node by id. Here it is read node by id, right? Here it is read node by id. Return also we did. Read node by id we are also doing here. Read node by id we did. So what is the issue in this? It should run, right? Read node by id, and id we have passed. Okay, see node fetched successfully, and it give us the complete node tutorial node. So whatever id we will pass here, it will give us. Let me pass this id, this one, CRUD operation successful. Let me copy the id, and see this id we are generating by using NodeMon. If you want, if you will leave this id field in our node controller while creating the node, if you will leave this id field, if you will remove this, then NodeMon will MongoDB will automatically generate some random id. So since we want more control over our id generation, so I am using external very popular package for random id generation, UUID version 4. So we are checking our read. So we have pasted the I have pasted the updated id. It should now give me updated different one. I have pasted it. Let me fire it. See, now I got the CRUD operation successful. So since this is our base API, this is our inserting the node API, this is our reading all the nodes. Now we must have 5 or 4 nodes. Okay, just 3 nodes. This is our deleting the node API. This is our updating the node, that we also did in a very clean way. And this is our reading one node, that we also did. Now in the same way you can do all the function. If you want to delete all the node, in the same way you can do. If you want to read nodes by tag or read nodes by status, in the same way. Let's see, let me show you read nodes by tag, how it will work. So read nodes by tag, copy the entire thing of ID, we will do in the same way. So go inside read nodes by tag, right? We will copy it. Note ID we receive, instead of note ID we will receive note tag, right? And instead of ID we will pass tag, and we will pass it note tag, because now we will read from note tag. Note fetched note by tag, fetched successfully, right? So note by tag fetched successfully. Now let's arrange it in our routing. It's done, right? We just took the note instead of note by ID. Now we will take note tag, and since we already have tag field, we will filter the first note that we will find. See, which is the first document that matches the filter with this, and we will return the result. So we will go to note routes. We will make router dot, since this is get function, get API call, it will be no read by tag, and dynamic ID we have named it as node tag. See, whatever you will name it here, node tag, in the same way you have to pass it here. Okay, that we did. After that we will do node controller dot read note by tag, we are doing, right? This is done. We can run it. Now let's go to Postman. Let's go to again here, let's run it. Localhost insert note, let's call it read note by tag. What is the tag? Let's find some tag. General is the tag, right? All the tag is general. So basically all the tag is general, so it will give me, if all the tag is general, then it will give us only one result, because since we are doing find one, right? So it will give us only one. See, first one it will give, whatever first one it will find with the tag general, it will give. If we will do it instead of find one, if we will do it find all. See, if we will do it simply find all, that we, as we did in notes.find. So let's see what find will return. It should return our all the documents by this tag, right? So let's see. Okay, no, it will not return. So for this we have to do the same thing. Dot to array, try to array. Let's see what it gives. It should give us all the nodes. So let's see, here it is. Now see, it is acting like a node. So if it is so, let's just update some, since all the node tag is general, let us update some nodes. Let us update this node by tag. Tag we can mark it done. Okay, let us update this node. Now let us, instead of general, give us the tag done. It should give us only one. See, that updated value. If you will pass general, it will give you all. If you will pass tag, it will give you only one. See, it will give you all, right? So now this read notes by tag we also did. Now let's do read notes by status. This is the same, just copy this, because since we are also having the status field in insert notes, see, we are fetching notes by id, we fetched just now by tag. Now we can also fetch by the completed status. With this we are going to fetch read note by status. Let's see, we have copied all. Instead of this we will name it status, or let's call it note status, right? Call it note status. And instead, no, the name is completed, right? So, and we need to call it note status. And if we want, we can write it find one, and we can remove the to array. But what I found is, even this is good. Like if it is having multiple result, it will return multiple, and if it is having only one, it will return only one. This one I found good, so I will write it note by a status fetched successfully, right? Single note. But this also we have to add in our router. Let's see, add it, since this is also get request, so we will add like status. So I will make it, we have named it as a node status, right? A node status. So whatever you will name it, you have to, like whatever naming you are accepting here, the same name of request param you have to give here. Don't forget to give this symbol. This symbol say it is dynamic. Now give node controller dot read note by status. Now we are able to read this. So since all the note is having a status true, so what we can do is, since all the note is having a status true, so what we can do is, wait, we will update some notes with having a status, all the note is having a status false. So I have updated one note with having a status true. Let me update it. Fine. Now let me call the API. The name was in read note by status, and in the request param we have to find false or true. So I have found the false status, request will be get. So let it. It is saying note by status fetched successfully. It is showing there is no. Okay, but input we have did. Okay, from false there is no note. Okay, so let's try with true, right? So from true also there we don't have note, but we should have, right? Since I will fetch all note, so each completed true. Are we doing some mistake? So each completed, okay, all the each completed is true. We have 3 nodes and all is true, so at least one should be false, right? Let me update it. It updated successfully, but once is false it should return. Let us see the code, what mistake we are doing. Note status, each completed note status, note dot find single note, it should give, right, to array. So let's do this find one and remove the to array. So it will give you first ever note, and each completed is the property. We are sure about that is completed. Fine. So if we will run it, null. Okay, got it. What may be happening is this boolean value, it is not recognizing. I got it. That is the issue. So this you can change it later in our DB schema. But I can remind you, since we created insert node, we created read node by id, we created read all node, we created update node, we created read nodes by tag, we created read nodes by status, and we created in a proper file format. First we created the entire project from very scratch. We added all the required dependency in package.jsn. After that we added node servers to run it. After that we loaded the script. After that we in index.js we ran the basic server. After that in config file we did the handshake with MongoDB client, all with MongoDB driver. We are using MongoDB Atlas. Here you can add your own password in the URL. How you will get this, that I have showed you. Everything in a very neat and clean way we did. So as we will see our to-do list, we have did all the entire method. 10th episode we also did. Okay, so only one method is left. Update this one, delete all API. So delete all API is very simple. So you will just pass, instead of, if I will show you, just copy delete over note, and if you will pass this one, right, delete, and if we can check to their MongoDB official doc as well, what they are saying there. Basically for deleting the note, if you will pass empty array in delete, then they will delete the all, as I am sure. Here they are doing only one delete. Wait, delete many. Okay, got it. Query delete many, got it. So it must have some method. I will show you. Delete delete many, what it is saying, to remove. Okay, so if you will remove this ID, then it will delete entire notes, entire documents inside notes collection under NodeDB. So you can add this as a all node deleted while deleting all nodes. And in the same way you can add this delete all node routes here, right? This will be router dot delete, right? So this delete all nodes, node controller dot delete all nodes. If you will fire, basically this type of method we should not write, so it will delete our all node, but since we are learning, it should empty our entire collection. And the issue with MongoDB is MongoDB collection can't exist without any document. Okay, so the moment I will fire this API, delete all nodes, this API, it will delete the entire documents, and due to that reason, when it will delete the entire document, our this collection, nodes collection, will also get deleted. The concept, the rule of MongoDB is a collection cannot have empty. So we will only have this NodeDB. So again we have to insert some data. So if you want, you can fire, not an issue, but let us see what happens. See, it is saying all nodes deleted successfully, and delete count is 3. And now if you will run the find all, read all nodes, it will not give any nodes. See, total node 0, since we deleted all the nodes. See, we just simply instead pass empty array. So empty array means it will delete all, and if we would have passed some ID and some particular ID, so it would have deleted some ID, specifically that node. We could have also passed title as well, but since we passed empty array, it will delete all. Since this type of method you should not add, we can add the insert new node as well. If we will go there, we will insert this. See, and if again we will fetch all the node, we will have one node. see, we have one node. So in this way we did 8 CRUD operation. First we inserted the node, after that we read that node by ID, after that we did read all nodes, we read entire nodes, after that we deleted single node, after that we just now we deleted the entire node, after that we read the nodes by tag, after in the same way we read the nodes by the status, after that we updated node by ID. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 CRUD operation we did. This is a very fully feature CRUD operation by using node driver in MongoDB, and everything, important thing is everything in this project we did from very scratch, and in the very sophisticated folder and structured manner. See, we created route folder, we have our node controller. In this we have declared all the methods, and in index.js we have plugged in that node route as a middleware. We have prefixed the /API/nodes to look it cool. So, and all those things we did, we handshaked with our MongoDB Atlas in a very clean way. We are having index.js, git ignore, we are having .env to store the password. See how cleanly we did it. So step by step we did our entire thing, NodeJs plus MongoDB CRUD. Okay, we did our entire. So now in next video, just stay tuned. In the same 2-hour video I am going to do a very complete CRUD operation with Node and MongoDB. Okay, and after doing Node and MongoDB, I will do with Node and MySQL, first plain MySQL. After that I will do with Node and SQLize. Just like MongoDB is a ODM for MongoDB, SQLize is a ORM, object relational mapping for MySQL. After that I will do with Node MySQL, Node SQLize, Node MongoDB. After that Node GraphQL, NodeJs. Like within 30 days I am going to do entire advanced level of node thing. So if you will stay tuned, then within a month you can learn the entire node, like very high level of concept I am doing, and it will be fully featured project. See, even in the CRUD operation I made 8 fully functional operation. Now there is no method of node left. Okay, that indexing and aggregation thing is little bit advanced topic that we will learn in some separate. Only that thing is left. So thank you for watching, and I will try to keep making. Thank you so much.